I'm out here painting in plein air to learn, to become a stronger painter, to evolve in my style of painting, and to experience the world while painting. There's a lot of reasons to plein air paint, but I'm new at this and not very good at it yet. It's a whole different beast than painting in a studio. I mean, you might think, well, painting is painting, right? If you can paint in a studio, you can paint anywhere. Not so much, actually. So I set up in front of this building in a very small town in North Carolina. This is not my hometown, but I'm familiar with the area. And there are places around here that I find kind of charming. One of the locals told me that at one point there was over 100 businesses in this little town, but now there's only this one restaurant called The Depot. The idea was to make the building the focal point and then to follow with your eye down the road, but before it goes off the painting to hit the pole, which is not there yet, but to redirect the eye and circle back around, following the shadows back into the building, creating kind of a loop of interest. You'll see what I mean when I'm finished.
Oh wow, that's lovely. Do you sell your paintings? I'd be interested in buying a painting. That's what I'm telling you. So the history of that building is, originally, I guess, was a bank building. There's a big safe inside the Depot restaurant.
How is that living right next to a train? Is that
used to it.
bothersome? The sun is going down. I'm losing sunlight. This scene is changing drastically. Okay. So just packed up and gonna call it a day. Gonna come back. I didn't have enough time to finish the painting. This is really my second plein air painting. Both times I've had people stop me and want to talk about the painting. It'd be overwhelming if it happened all the time, but a little bit of interaction is pretty cool. On the second day, I had to come back out at a different time of day, which made things difficult. So far, this seems to be the hardest part of plein air painting. You have to worry about sunlight in a way that you don't have to in a studio. Then you have to worry about painting quickly because the sunlight changes. When plein air painting, you feel that you're always rushed. There's no time to mess around. I'm readjusting some of the values right now. It was much closer to dusk on the first day and the shadows were much darker, so I'm lightening things up a bit. Time is not a luxury that you have when plein air painting, and I'm going to have to learn how to problem solve much quicker. At this point, I'm starting to get frustrated because I feel like I'm still struggling to find the essence of the painting. I pack up and I decide to take what I have back to the studio and to look at it with fresh eyes later. So here I am back in the studio, and I noticed right away from the photo that I took that the road value is off. I think that the problem I have on location is that I've not figured out how to remove all the clutter around the scene and to focus in on the subject. There's just so much going on around the scene when you're plein air painting, and you have to be able to hone in on what's most important. I find that challenging and difficult. I feel as though I kind of failed at this painting from a plein air perspective. If I was forced to finish the painting on location, I think I would probably just trash it. But fortunately, I do think that I saved it in the studio. It actually turned out pretty good. But again, I had to kind of revert back to my usual way of painting in order to work out the problems. And that is what I want to learn how to get away from in the future. Power pole to the left and the tree to the right helps keep the eyes contained in the painting, and it pushes them back into the focal point. Even all the wires and the shadows all push inward, and I think that helps the composition. Once the details are added, I'm fairly happy with it, but it was not the plein air experience that I was hoping for. Oh well, I'll try again and maybe it'll be better next time. But for now, I'm going to call this one finished and move on to the next one.